Have you ever wondered why the smartest person in the room is usually the quietest? It's not because they don't have anything to say, it's because they know what not to say. Today, I'm going to reveal the three secrets smart people never share. And once you know them, you'll understand the true power of silence. The truly wise never announce their next move. They do not broadcast their intentions, nor do they place their aspirations on the altar of public opinion. They understand something that eludes the common mind, that premature exposure weakens the will. When you speak too soon about what you intend to do, you risk draining the very force needed to bring that vision into reality. Why? Because the brain often cannot distinguish between the satisfaction of having done something and the illusion of accomplishment that comes from merely talking about it. The applause you receive for sharing your dreams too early is a counterfeit reward. It feels good, but it costs you momentum. Consider the example of the inventor who once dreamed of revolutionizing transportation. He kept his designs, his testing phases, and his trials hidden from the public eye. He worked in silence, often through the night, wrestling with failure and refining his vision in solitude. When he finally revealed his creation, a prototype that moved without the use of a horse, many mocked him, but by then the machine worked. The doubters could no longer dismantle the dream because it had already taken form. His silence had been his armor and his patience his weapon. That man was Henry Ford. He didn't just build a car, he built a system, one that reshaped the world, and he did it without inviting opinion into the early stages of creation. Now contrast that with the man who boasts of his ambitions at every dinner table. He speaks of empires yet to be built, of wealth soon to be acquired, of changes he's about to make. Yet year after year, he remains where he is. His energy, instead of being poured into action, was squandered in declaration. His confidence became his performance, and talk became his substitute for work. The world did not doubt him. It simply forgot him because he never delivered. Smart people know that the first stage of a dream is its most fragile. It's like fire kindled in the rain. Too much exposure and it dies. They build quietly because they understand that scrutiny, even well-meaning, can cast doubt. And doubt is like rust. It eats away at resolve from the inside out. They know that every word spoken about a plan invites a ripple of resistance, whether through envy, criticism, or simple misunderstanding. And while they may trust a select few with fragments of their vision, they reserve the full picture for the unveiling, not the discussion. Even in the business world, the most strategic thinkers follow this code. A company does not announce a market shift before it's ready to execute. It keeps developments confidential until the foundation is unshakable. Apple, for example, operates with layers of secrecy around its product development. Employees work in silos, innovations are compartmentalized, and public announcements are made only when the product is polished and ready for impact. This isn't paranoia, it's strategy. It's a recognition that power fades when scattered and is multiplied when concentrated, and the greatest concentration of power lies in quiet progress. So the smart keep their next move veiled, not because they are hiding, but because they are protecting something sacred, the birth of their vision, the gestation of their greatness. They are not afraid of being seen. They are simply wise enough to wait until there is something worth seeing. What sets the truly intelligent and successful apart is not just their knowledge or talent, but the hidden wellspring from which they draw their strength, a source of power so subtle, yet so potent that it remains invisible to the casual observer. This source is not found in loud declarations or public displays, but in the quiet, disciplined habits that feed their mind, body, and spirit. The greatest minds do not flaunt their routines or broadcast the small sacrifices that build their greatness. Instead, they cultivate their power in solitude, far from the distracting noise of the world. Consider the story of a man who transformed the art of storytelling and animation into a global empire. Before he became a household name, he spent years tirelessly honing his craft in obscurity. He was known for reading books voraciously, studying human nature, and immersing himself in the technical details of his work. Long before he ever showed a finished product to the world, his power came from a relentless commitment to personal growth and refinement that few witnessed. While others chased quick fame, he built his foundation on patience, perseverance, and an insatiable thirst for learning. That man was Walt Disney. His true source of power was not in the characters he created, but in the unseen hours of preparation, the rejection letters he ignored, and the constant pursuit of excellence hidden behind closed doors. This hidden reservoir of strength is often built through habits that appear mundane or even invisible to outsiders. Waking early before dawn to read, journaling thoughts and ideas in silence, practicing skills repeatedly without applause, or seeking counsel from mentors without broadcast. These small, consistent acts accumulate into an unstoppable force. The smart understand that true power is compounded, not instantaneous. They know that every great achievement is born of countless quiet moments where no one else is watching, moments of self-discipline, reflection, and growth. Take the example of a world-renowned athlete whose physical prowess astonishes millions. Few see the grueling regimen behind the scenes, the early morning runs, the strict diet, the countless hours of training, and the mental conditioning required to perform at the highest level. Her power is not just her speed or strength, it is the invisible foundation built on sacrifice and resilience. She does not share every detail of her regimen with the public because she knows that revealing the entire process dilutes the mystique and exposes vulnerabilities. Her competitors can study her victories, but they cannot replicate the intimate rituals that fuel her success. This is the source of her true power. Moreover, the source of power for the wise extends beyond physical or mental habits. It also resides in the emotional and spiritual realms. Smart people guard their emotional energy carefully. They avoid unnecessary conflict, manage their stress in private, and cultivate an inner peace that external chaos cannot penetrate. They understand that power is not just about what you do, but how you maintain your balance amid life's inevitable storms. This emotional intelligence is often invisible but vital, a fortress that protects their focus and clarity. The greatest thinkers and leaders rarely parade their inner workings. They are selective about what they reveal because they know that power, once exposed, can be diluted by misunderstanding or envy. Instead, they nurture their source of strength quietly, letting it grow until it becomes a force too powerful to be ignored. This power fuels their decisions, sharpens their instincts, and carries them through obstacles that would cause others to falter. In truth, it is this hidden source that distinguishes the smart from the merely knowledgeable, the truly powerful from the temporarily successful. Behind every great mind and every remarkable achievement lies a battlefield unseen by the world, a private war waged in silence and solitude. The smartest people do not parade their struggles like trophies. They keep these battles guarded within the fortress of their own resolve. They understand that inner struggles, no matter how fierce, must never become a spectacle. Instead, these challenges become the crucible in which their character is forged and from which their greatest strength emerges. While many seek sympathy or validation, the truly wise transform their pain into a source of power and their doubts into fuel for relentless progress. Take, for example, the life of a man whose name is synonymous with innovation and perseverance. Before revolutionizing the way we communicate and share information, he faced countless moments of doubt, failure, and public criticism. His vision was often ridiculed, and the weight of expectations pressed heavily upon him. Yet behind closed doors, he wrestled silently with his fears, questioning whether he was enough, whether his sacrifices were worth the cost. He never revealed these inner conflicts to the world because he knew that showing vulnerability could weaken his influence and distract from his mission. Instead, he chose to channel his struggles into action, refining his ideas quietly and persistently. That man was Steve Jobs. His inner turmoil was a secret weapon, driving him to innovate relentlessly while presenting a composed, confident exterior. This pattern is not limited to iconic figures. It exists in everyday people who quietly bear the weight of their challenges without complaint. The parent working multiple jobs to provide for their family, the student overcoming self-doubt to pursue a dream, the entrepreneur navigating the loneliness of startup life, each carries private battles that are invisible to the public eye. Smart people understand that exposing these struggles prematurely invites judgment and pity, which can sap their strength and divert their focus. They hold their burdens close, using them as reminders of their resilience and reasons to press forward. Furthermore, these inner struggles often involve more than just external obstacles. They include the conflict between desire and discipline, fear and courage, doubt and faith. The intelligent know that success is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. They experience anxiety, frustration, and exhaustion just like anyone else, but what separates them is their refusal to surrender to these emotions publicly. Instead, they cultivate mental fortitude in private, rehearsing victories in their minds, seeking clarity in solitude, and emerging each day with renewed determination. Consider a celebrated artist who creates breathtaking works admired by millions. Few realize that the same artist battles daily waves of self-criticism and insecurity, questioning every brushstroke and every choice. This internal dialogue is not shared on social media or in interviews because revealing it might undermine the aura of confidence and mastery that surrounds their work. Yet it is precisely this struggle that sharpens their skills and deepens their creativity. Their vulnerability is not absent. It is simply reserved for their private moments where it fuels rather than weakens their journey. In essence, the smartest people recognize that their inner struggles are not signs of weakness, but essential ingredients of strength. They do not wear their pain like armor for others to see. They conceal it beneath a calm exterior while using it as the silent engine that drives their success. This internal discipline creates a sanctuary where their minds can work free from distraction, where doubt can be transformed into determination, and where every challenge becomes a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. One of the greatest weapons in the arsenal of the intelligent is the mastery of silence, not the silence born from ignorance or fear, but the deliberate, controlled silence that serves as a strategic force. While many rush to fill every pause with words, the wise understand that silence can speak louder than speech, and that sometimes the most powerful statement is made by saying nothing at all. This controlled silence is an art, a discipline that requires restraint, patience, and a keen awareness of when to engage and when to hold back. It is the quiet before the storm, the pause that unsettles the crowd, and the space in which true power gathers. Imagine the boardroom of a successful corporation during a high-stakes negotiation. The room buzzes with tension, ideas fly back and forth, and many participants compete to dominate the conversation. Yet, amid this clamor, the smartest negotiator remains calm, speaking little but listening intently. When he finally does speak, his words carry weight because they have been carefully measured and timed. His silence unsettles others, forcing them to reveal more than they intended. His ability to remain composed and quiet projects confidence and control. This controlled silence becomes a tool of influence, shaping the course of the negotiation without aggressive tactics. In truth, it is often those who say less who command the most respect and wield the greatest power. Controlled silence also protects energy and focus. Every word spoken is an expenditure of mental and emotional resources, and the wise know that not every moment requires verbal participation. By choosing silence, they conserve their strength for moments that truly matter. The less they reveal about their thoughts, plans, and emotions, the less ammunition they provide to competitors, detractors, or naysayers. This silence acts as a shield, preventing distractions from seeping into their inner world and allowing them to maintain clarity and direction. Take the example of a celebrated diplomat who has successfully navigated some of the world's most delicate negotiations. Behind closed doors, he employs silence as a tactical device, listening to understand not just the words, but the intentions and fears behind them. His silence encourages others to fill the void, often exposing their true positions and weaknesses. By refusing to be hurried into responses, he controls the rhythm of the discussion and shapes its outcome without overt confrontation. His quietness is not submission, it is mastery. Beyond professional settings, controlled silence cultivates inner peace and emotional strength. In a world obsessed with constant communication, those who can embrace silence find refuge from the noise and chaos. They do not feel compelled to respond immediately or justify themselves at every turn. This calm detachment allows them to observe situations with greater clarity, make decisions grounded in wisdom rather than impulse, and maintain composure under pressure. Their silence becomes a statement of self-control, signaling that they are not easily shaken or provoked. Furthermore, controlled silence deepens relationships by fostering true listening. When smart people remain silent, they open space for others to express themselves fully. This creates an environment of trust and respect where ideas flow more freely and connections grow stronger. People are drawn to those who listen without interruption because such attentiveness communicates value and understanding far more than words alone ever could. In essence, the power of controlled silence lies in its ability to transform communication from mere noise into meaningful exchange. It is a deliberate choice to withhold, to wait, and to observe, turning silence into a dynamic force that shapes outcomes, preserves energy, and reveals deeper truths hidden beneath the surface of conversation. The principle of the mastermind is often understood as the alliance of great minds working together toward a common goal, but the truly wise apply this law inward, creating an inner circle of thoughts, beliefs, and mental disciplines that function as a personal mastermind within themselves. Before they even seek external partnerships or collaborations, they first cultivate a powerful internal network, a harmony of ideas, principles, and focused intentions that steer their every decision. This internal mastermind is a disciplined council of the mind, where self-doubt is challenged, creativity is nurtured, and clarity is forged. It is this unseen assembly that underpins all external success. Consider the example of a renowned author who crafts stories that captivate millions. Before the first word hits the page, she consults her internal mastermind, an invisible council comprised of her experiences, knowledge, intuition, and aspirations. Within this mental chamber, she debates ideas, refines her vision, and anticipates the reactions of her readers. This internal dialogue, though silent, is rigorous and relentless. She may face uncertainty and conflicting thoughts, yet through this inward mastermind, she aligns her creative forces toward a clear and compelling narrative. The strength of her work depends not only on her outward skill, but on the power of this internal assembly that guides her through doubt to conviction. Similarly, great leaders understand that external masterminds, groups of trusted advisors and collaborators, are invaluable, but they only reach their full potential when rooted in a strong internal mastermind. The leader who fails to govern their inner thoughts and emotions will be vulnerable to indecision, confusion, and distraction. On the other hand, those who command their inner dialogue create a stable foundation from which external partnerships can flourish. This inward mastery prevents the scattering of energy and ensures that every alliance serves a purposeful and strategic end. They listen carefully not only to others, but also to their own inner voice, discerning which counsel to embrace and which to dismiss. A classic example is the story of a visionary entrepreneur who built one of the world's most influential technology companies. His external mastermind consisted of brilliant engineers, creative marketers, and savvy business strategists. Yet his real power came from the internal mastermind that kept him focused on his long-term vision despite setbacks, criticism, and changing markets. Inside his mind, he wrestled with questions about risk, innovation, and ethics, continuously refining his principles and goals. This internal clarity allowed him to lead confidently, knowing when to pivot and when to hold steady, and to inspire those around him to follow his lead with unwavering faith. The inward application of the mastermind law also teaches discretion. While the smart person forms alliances, they do not reveal every detail of their strategies to the masses. They understand that some plans require secrecy until the foundation is solid. The power of the mastermind lies not in the quantity of voices, but in the quality and alignment of those voices, both inside and outside the mind. This inner circle of thoughts, when properly nurtured, becomes a powerful source of innovation, resilience, and strategic insight. Moreover, the internal mastermind protects against the dangers of negative influences, those doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs that can sabotage progress if allowed to dominate the mind. The intelligent cultivate their inner counsel carefully, inviting only thoughts that support growth, courage, and clarity. Like a well-curated board of directors, they engage with critical voices but prevent destructive ones from taking control. This disciplined mental environment becomes the birthplace of ideas that transform challenges into opportunities and setbacks into stepping stones. Ultimately, the law of the mastermind applied inward is about self-governance. It is the understanding that before seeking to harness the power of others, one must first master the power within. This internal mastermind governs the energy, focus, and creativity that every external action depends upon, making it the invisible engine behind visible success. Embracing the secrets of the truly intelligent is not a matter of waiting for the perfect moment or the arrival of extraordinary circumstances. It begins with the deliberate decision to change one's habits and mindset in the here and now, today, this very moment. The path to adopting these powerful principles starts with awareness and intentional action, transforming abstract ideas into daily practice. The smart do not wait for success to find them. They actively cultivate the conditions within themselves that make success inevitable. And you, too, can begin this journey by integrating these secrets into your life step by step. First, to guard your next move, start by practicing discretion with your plans. Instead of announcing every goal and ambition publicly, keep your intentions close. For example, imagine an aspiring entrepreneur who dreams of launching a new product. Rather than sharing every detail on social media or with acquaintances, she documents her plans privately, working behind the scenes to develop and refine her idea. By withholding premature announcements, she protects her vision from criticism and distractions, allowing her energy to focus fully on execution. This disciplined silence builds momentum, turning ideas into tangible results. Next, tap into your source of power by establishing habits that nurture your mind and body. Consider the story of a student preparing for a difficult exam. Instead of cramming at the last minute or seeking shortcuts, he commits to a consistent schedule of study, rest, and reflection. He wakes early to read, journals his progress, and practices mindfulness to maintain emotional balance. Through these quiet rituals, he builds an inner reservoir of strength that supports not only his academic goals, but his overall well-being. The key is to identify small, sustainable actions that feed your energy daily, whether it's meditation, exercise, or focused reading, and make them non-negotiable parts of your routine. To embrace your inner struggles, begin by acknowledging them without fear or shame. Instead of hiding from doubt, fear, or frustration, face them head-on as natural components of growth. For instance, a writer struggling with self-doubt may set aside time each day to journal her fears and confront them with reason and hope. By bringing these inner conflicts into conscious awareness, she disarms their power over her and transforms them into motivation. Recognize that every challenge you experience is an opportunity to build resilience and deepen your understanding of yourself. The power of controlled silence can be adopted by practicing mindful listening and intentional pauses in conversation and decision making. Picture a manager in a busy office who chooses to listen fully before responding during meetings. Instead of reacting immediately, he allows a moment of silence to gather his thoughts, signaling confidence and control. This deliberate quiet not only improves the quality of his decisions, but also commands respect from his team. To cultivate this skill, start by observing your speech patterns and consciously choosing when to speak and when to listen. Embrace silence as a tool, not a void. Lastly, apply the law of the mastermind inward by creating a daily mental ritual that aligns your thoughts and goals. Consider the example of an athlete who visualizes her success each morning, mentally rehearsing challenges and victories. She consults her inner counsel, balancing encouragement, critique, and strategy before stepping into the day. You can adopt this by dedicating time to quiet reflection, meditation, or writing, where you invite your best ideas forward and challenge limiting beliefs. Build your internal mastermind with intention, nurturing the voices that support your highest aspirations while gently silencing those that hinder progress. By taking these steps today, you initiate a transformation that moves beyond theory into the realm of living practice, where secrets become habits and habits become the foundation of lasting success. Now, as you stand at the crossroads of knowledge and action, remember this: the greatest truths often lie hidden beneath the surface, shared not in loud proclamations but in quiet mastery. These secrets, guarding your next move, drawing from an unseen source of power, embracing your inner struggles, wielding the power of controlled silence, and mastering your inner mastermind, are the pillars upon which true success is built. They are not mere concepts to admire from afar, but forces to be lived, breathed, and embodied each day. The choice is yours: to continue as before or to step forward with intention, embracing these principles and transforming your potential into unstoppable reality. The path is clear, the power within you awaits. The question is, will you take the step